Plants are often seen as still, quiet, and passive, rooted in place while the world changes around them. But beneath the surface, plants are constantly active, extending roots, sensing conditions, and interacting with the soil they depend on. Even a single plant standing alone is part of a larger system, shaped by weather, seasons, and long-term climate patterns. And over time, as light and shadow move and temperatures shift, plants adjust not by moving away, but by changing how they function. For plants, climate isn't just something they endure, it's information they constantly read, with rainfall, moisture, and humidity triggering internal signals that guide growth, conserve water, or help recover from stress. While changing weather patterns shape plant behavior across entire landscapes, influencing survival and reproduction, even subtle shifts in light and wind are detected, guiding how leaves position themselves and how energy is captured. Inside every plant is a genetic code, but it isn't a fixed set of instructions because the same genes can be used in different ways, allowing plants to respond flexibly to changing environments. At the cellular level, molecular processes control which genes are active and which remain silent, giving plants the ability to adjust growth, timing, and function without changing their DNA sequence. When temperatures rise, plants activate molecular pathways that help protect cells from heat stress. And after rain, those same systems shift again to support recovery and renewed growth. Seasonal changes fine-tune flowering time so reproduction happens under the right conditions, while tiny pores on leaf surfaces open and close to balance water loss with carbon uptake in a constant molecular negotiation. Across mountains and elevations, plants experience dramatically different climates within short distances. And while some populations adapt to dry, harsh conditions and others thrive in wetter environments, these differences are often invisible, reflecting deep molecular adjustments shaped by local climate. Hardier plants at the edges of these gradients reveal both the power and the limits of adaptation. As climates change, plants begin expanding into new regions where ecosystems meet and overlap. But survival in new areas depends on whether a plant's molecular systems can cope with unfamiliar conditions. Because temperature, moisture, and seasonality create invisible barriers that shape where plants can persist. And when adaptation can't keep pace, even suitable-looking habitats become impossible to colonize. Adaptation isn't just something from the distant past, it's happening now, as small genetic and regulatory differences within populations influence which plants survive and reproduce, with seeds carrying those changes forward and new generations emerging already shaped by the climates their parents experienced. But molecular flexibility has limits, especially under rapid climate change, where habitat fragmentation reduces genetic diversity and extreme heat and drought push plants toward physiological thresholds. And when those limits are crossed, ecosystems begin to unravel. Plants form the foundation of terrestrial ecosystems, and when they adapt, entire communities can reorganize and persist, supporting pollinators, herbivores, and predators whose survival depends on these quiet plant responses. The same processes shape the future of agriculture, where crop resilience depends on genetic diversity and molecular adaptability. And as climates shift, farming systems must work with plant biology rather than against it. What looks like stillness is constant change, because beneath the soil, life is adjusting, responding, and persisting. And although plants don't adapt loudly, they adapt precisely. And through these quiet molecular changes, they continue shaping the living planet we call home.